Hi everybody, welcome to another video. All right, so today we are going to do some strength training with hand weights. So I have a couple of hand weights with me. You can use whatever you have, kind of light to medium if you have the regular hand weights, dumbbells. You can also use water bottles, jugs, soup cans, anything that you have available around the house. If you don't have these, I know they're a little bit hard to get right now, so go ahead and use whatever you have. We're going to do some seated, some standing exercises. So a couple other things, of course, make sure that you have your water and that you're staying hydrated before, during, and after your workout. Also, make sure you have your sturdy chair, no wheels, no armrests. It's not going to move on you. Make sure that your workspace is clear of any clutter or tripping hazards. Make sure that you have, I just have socks on, but if you need sturdy shoes, go ahead and put those on. Pause as long as you need to. Get everything all set up to make sure that you're as safe and effective as possible. And we'll go ahead and get going. We've got some little retro music for you today, so I hope that you enjoy that. So let's go ahead and get going. And actually, we are going to start with just a few seated things to warm up a little bit, and then we'll go into some standing exercises. Now keep in mind, I also have full videos of stretching. I just did a complete stretching video a few days ago. The last video was stretching. We have balance. We have strength training with a band, a ball. I have cardio videos. I'll try to do another cardio video for you soon because I know that a lot of people really like those. So check out all those different things, all those different modalities. Make sure you work those into your week, all right? So we're just gonna start by warming up the core a little bit. And core is fairly easy to do in the chair. Now, I know a lot of people will try to do standing core exercises with just body weight, and I just don't find those to be super effective because you don't have any gravity resistance. So you absolutely can do those. They're not contraindicated. I just don't find them to be the most effective. So if you're in a situation where you don't want to be down on the floor, down on a mat, trying to do crunches or a V-sit or something like that, we can do similar things in the chair. All right, so we're going to start with a couple of those things. So I'd like for you to move to the front part of your chair. You want to be careful that you're not going to tip forward, but about the front half of your chair. And then first thing is to sit up very tall. So you're really lengthening your spine. You're going to pull the belly in. So you start engaging those abs, belly button towards the spine, bear down a little bit, but remember to keep breathing. So even though we have the abs engaged, please remember to keep breathing. So we're just going to start with our sit-ups. So you're going to lean back without using the back of the chair for support and come back up. Now I just have these weights here as extra resistance. You can also do this with just body weight if you prefer. Remember, any of these exercises you can modify to suit your own personal needs, your own level. You can take a break anytime that you need to, rest anytime you need to, modify anytime you need to. Make it work for the level that you're at. All right, so adding a little bit more, we're going to bring one foot up. This is an option. If you prefer to just keep the feet down, completely fine to do so. Now again, remember to keep breathing. Make sure that you're not concentrating so hard that you forget to breathe. Also make sure that your shoulders are down away from your ears. We tend to shrug, tighten up those shoulders, and we don't want to do that. We don't need any extra tension in the neck. All right, now we're going to add one more variation here. I'm adding the rotation to it. And again, if you want to keep the feet down and just do the rotation, that's completely fine too. If you are doing the knee lift and the rotation, I'm touching my elbow to the outside of my leg as I go. So I'm really working on that waistline. Now I'm going to give you one more option, and that is to extend the arms out. So lever arm principle. Anytime the weight is further away from your body, it's going to be more challenging. So work at the right level for yourself. Breathe through it. 3, 2, and 1. Great job. All right, so catch your breath here. Big inhale, big exhale. From here, let's do a little upper body warm up. We're going to work on those triceps since we have these weights right here. Now I'll show you a modification. The exercise itself is going to be the tricep extension with the weights coming behind your head. So you're going to point your elbows toward the ceiling, squeeze them in towards each other. You don't want them to wing out or flare out. Just going to squeeze them in towards each other. Keep pointing the elbows toward the ceiling and very carefully bring the weights behind your head. Be very cautious you don't hit yourself with the weights. The modification on this, if your shoulders give you issue and it just doesn't feel good to have your arms up overhead, you can do the tricep kickback. Totally fine modification. Either of those is fine. Also, if you are doing the overhead extension and you need a little bit more support, you can scoot back and sit against the back of your chair if you prefer to do that. Good job. Keep squeezing those elbows in. Make sure that they don't flare out as you get tired. You're working on the back of the arms here, so you're going to come out to full extension. Good job. Last one. All right, so I would like to do a lower body one next, and that is going to be the seated quadricep extension. So you are going to move all the way back on this one and just rest the weights on the front, the top of your leg above your knee. Make sure that the weights are above your knee. If you prefer to use just one weight, you can put one down. If you're good with both weights, it's going to depend on how heavy that is for you. I was just thinking of too many different things to say at once, and they just all kind of collided, trying to come out of my mouth. All right, so we're slowly lifting and lowering. We're focusing on that quadricep above the knee. Okay? Slow lift and lower. Just breathe through it. One more. All right, great job. Go ahead and switch sides again. Make sure that your weight or weights are above your knee so that we're not putting pressure on the joint. You're going to completely extend the leg and then without any momentum or swinging, just lift and lower. So again, you're focusing on that quadricep on the top of the thigh. This muscle is really important for helping you get up out of a chair or up off the floor. So we're going to give it a little bit extra attention here. Good. Two more. Nice job. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move forward in the chair again and do our chest punches. We're going to do an alternating chest punch. So move to the front again, just like you were on the first exercise for the abs. And you're also going to position your body like you did for those initial sit-ups. So we want to lengthen the spine, engage the abs. This time we're going to bring the weights up by the shoulders, but we're not doing a shoulder press. We're doing a punch forward. So you're going to start with a lean back and then come up, punch across, lean back again. Punch across, lean back again. All right, so you've got that rotation. We've got chest, shoulders, arms. And you're breathing. Sorry, there's a little commercial there, and then we'll be back to the music. Looks like it's almost done. There we go. That's better. All right, we just have one more on each side of this one, and then take a little break. All right, so again, you're going to come all the way up. Just catch the breath. Big inhale, big exhale. All right, so this time we're doing the bilateral chest press forward. You're going to lean back just like that first set. Abs engaged. This time, as you come up, both forward. So you get a little bonus ab exercise, but we're adding that upper body to it. Good. How are you feeling? I'm going to take you right into a shoulder press from here. We're really going to push through that upper body here. And up. Lean back, press up. So your shoulders might be burning a little bit here. Breathe. Exhale on the exertion. So exhale on the press. But the more important thing is to make sure that you just breathe. That's the most important thing. Last two, almost there. Okay, good job. Let's drop the arms down. We're going to go right into that rotator cuff. Most of you know this one. Upper arms tucked in by the sides, elbows tucked in by the sides. I'm alternating arms on top, but you're only going to go out external rotation as wide as you can without having to lift the arms away from your body. So you might not come out this far. Totally fine. You don't want to lift the arms up. Good. Last two. All right. Go ahead and grab a drink of water, and we are going to go to some standing exercises. All right, so first one, you're going to be using the chair for support, so don't worry, you're always going to have the chair there for your support. All right, so we're going to do the lawnmower exercise, which is the upper back exercise. Now, if you prefer, if it's a little bit too much, I've got these both in one hand, but I'm actually going to put one down. So it's up to you if you want to use one or both. If you have a pretty heavy weight, you can just go ahead and use one. And again, you've got that chair here for support, and then you're going to do a split stance so that you have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, again, just for a little bit more stability here. Hinge slightly forward, and we're rowing the weight up to the chest and release it down. Now we're going to add just a little bit of controlled rotation here. So you're still pulling it up to the chest, elbow up to the ceiling, just like you would on a regular row, but we're going to control that slight bit of bonus rotation here, all right? We're going to do a few things from this position. So make sure that you have a nice stance that's going to keep you steady. You got that chair there. Keep breathing through it. How are you doing? Just a couple more of these, but we're going to go right into our next movement. We are going to do a rear deltoid from here. So this is the back part of the shoulder. Now this is, of course, going to be significantly more challenging than that row was, because instead of using the big muscles of the back, we're focusing more on the rear part of the shoulder. You get a little bit of upper back there, but the rear and the side part of the shoulder, and those are smaller muscles, so you still have that rotation in there. This is going to feel more challenging, so that's normal. Last two. Good job. All right, come all the way up, and we're just going to do a single arm bicep curl here. You're going to tuck the elbow in by your hip. We have the palm up, and you're going all the way up, all the way down. And if this feels too easy, go ahead and grab that other dumbbell, that other hand weight, or can or bottle, whatever you have, whatever you can hang on to. I know it can get a little bit tricky trying to hold more than one. And you might think about trying to find some hand weights, if you can. Find some to add to your home collection. Last one. All right, so from here we're going to go into some lunges because we're already in that split stance position. So you still have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. If you want to, you can step a little further back with that back foot. Then go ahead and lift that back heel up. We're going to keep the torso up nice and tall when we do this. We're going to bend both knees, dropping that back knee down towards the floor and keeping the front knee behind the toes. And come back up. Again, if you need a little bit more, step back. So the key here is remembering to drop that back knee down towards the floor. People really struggle to remember that. Don't worry about what the front knee is doing. It's going to go along with the back knee. Think of dropping that back knee down. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself trying to just bend the front knee and not the back. Now, we are engaging the glutes here, okay? Glutes are your power muscles for the lower body, so very important. Now, extra challenge here. I'm going to add a front deltoid raise. So we're getting a little crazy with those shoulders today. All right? A little bit crazy, not too much. Just a couple more of those. All right, from here, let's go ahead and put the weight down for a moment. And we're going to take that back foot in. We're going to do our heel raise, toe raise. So we are in our heel toe position. The toes of the back foot touching the heel of the front foot. You're just standing nice and tall. Heels, toes. If your balance is great, you want to go ahead and let go of your chair, that's fine too. One more. All right, good job. Go ahead and shake those legs out. We are going to move around to the other side of the chair. So again, one or both weights, whatever is right for you. And we're going to do that split stance again. Doesn't have to be real wide. We're just trying to be a little bit more stable here. So chair is there, split stance is there, and we are starting with that lawnmower again. So you're going to do that slight lean forward, pull up, down. Good. So keep the elbow tucked in towards your body. We're not going to wing out with it. We are going to pull it up, and we're going to add that rotation, so that controlled rotation there. So elbow's still going up toward the ceiling. We're still working on the upper back and the arm. We're adding a little bit of obliques here. Breathing through it. Exhale on the pull, inhale on the release, or whatever feels right for you. So if it feels awkward the way I just said, just make sure you're breathing. That's really the most important thing. But if you need a little bit more rhythm, exhale, inhale, okay? Just never hold the breath, because strength training causes a slight temporary increase to your blood pressure, which is usually just fine. But we don't want to hold the breath because that also increases the blood pressure. So we don't want to do both of those things. You need to breathe. That's my soapbox. All right, we are switching to that rear deltoid. So this is the one that's a little bit more challenging. We still have that rotation, but now we're working more on the back part of the shoulder and the outside part of the shoulder. So you're going to find it's quite a bit harder. So if you had both weights and you need to put one down, that's totally fine. We're just going from one exercise to the next. Chair as much as you need it. One more of these. All right, let's move into that bicep curl. So elbows now tucked in by your hip. Palm is up, and full range of motion if you can. If you have any reason why you can't come all the way down though, go ahead and do a partial range of motion if you need to do so. Like if that tendon's irritated or you have any elbow issues that you can't fully extend at the elbow, you can do the modification. Keep breathing through it. All right, let's do our lunges. So you might want to step back just a little bit more. The toes of both feet are going to be pointed forward. We're going to line them up and lift that back heel. And remember, the key here is keeping the upper body up tall, dropping that back knee down towards the floor. We don't want that front knee to go beyond the toes. So if you need to, take an even bigger step back. But instead of focusing on that front knee bending, focus on the back knee dropping down. Keep that back heel lifted up. Front knee's going to follow along. And then remember to squeeze the glutes on the way back up. Good. Lower body work here. Chair as much as you need it for stability. All right, we are going to add that front deltoid raise. Remember that? Yeah, a little bonus here for the upper body. Just 3 more. Good. Last one. All right, so you can put your weight down on your chair here for a moment. We're going to step in, do that heel toe. So all the way in, toes of the back foot, touching the heel of the front foot, still standing up nice and tall. This is your heel raise, toe raise. So if you're feeling great with your balance, you can let go of your chair. But if you need the chair, use it. We're just getting mobility through the ankles. Another real good one to do at home is if you have a stair or a step anywhere in your house, you can do the calf raises where you let your heel drop down off the back of the step and then come up on your tiptoes. And that gives you greater range of motion, greater stretch at the bottom. So that's a really good exercise that you can do also to strengthen the lower legs. Last one. All right, good. Go ahead and shake those legs out. All right, so I'm going to grab both my weights and we are going to do a deadlift. All right, so I'm going to move the chair out of the way just so you can see me, but you can just stay right behind the chair. That is completely fine. We've got both of our weights here. We're going to step out to about shoulder width apart, and we're going to do a little combo here. So we're going to do a combination of a straight leg deadlift and a regular deadlift. Now, what the heck is that, you're saying? Well, the straight leg deadlift focuses on the back of the legs, so glutes, hamstrings, whereas the regular deadlift also adds the quadriceps in. So we're going to get the best of both worlds here. So first part, straight leg deadlift. We're going to do no bend in the knees, chest is up, shoulders are back, hip hinge forward. So you're going to feel a stretch in those hamstrings. When you get that nice stretch, come all the way up, bring the hips through. Let's do one more just like that so you know what that one is. Hip hinge forward, chest up, shoulders back, no rounding. All right, now the regular deadlift, we're going to bend the knees so it's a little bit more squat-like, but we're still bending forward. And then come up. And let's do that one again. Good. All right, so now we're going to alternate. So not to confuse you, but we're going to alternate. Straight leg, hip hinge forward, Come back up, squeeze your glutes. Now regular deadlift, bend the knees slightly as you come forward. There you go, a little bit more quads on that one. Straight leg. Squeeze. Regular deadlift, slight knee bend. Make sense? Keep alternating. Straight leg. Squeeze the glutes. Regular deadlift, bend the knees. And come up. Good. Two more. One of each. Straight leg. Good job. Squeeze. And regular deadlift. Nice work. Did you learn something new? All right. Go ahead and shake those legs out. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put one of these back down. And I want to do just a little bit more for the upper body and core. So I'm going to do a single overhead press. This one I'm going to go about hip width apart. This is just to give you a little bit more core support as you're pressing up and across. And you can even kind of crunch down a little bit if you want. But our main focus here is on that press. Uh-oh. Keep going. My music stopped. Oh no. Let's back that up. There we go. We don't want the music to stop yet. We're not done yet. All right, so remember right here, focusing on that, and right here. I'm going to take up the tempo a little bit. So we're going to make this a little bit more cardio. Now, if you have a really heavy weight and you want to keep that tempo slower, go ahead. But if you have a little bit lighter weight here, we're going to take it up a little bit higher. I'm not going to add the squat to this because you just did quite a lot of lower body work. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Catch your breath, switch sides. Again, I would just use one on this. You're going to start right here. Punch, crunch, punch, crunch. Again, we're not really focused on that side crunch. I want you to focus more on the shoulder, and then the abs are going to be there to support you because you're standing up and you're using one side at a time, which is more challenging for the core than doing both at once where they're balanced. So this is like, you know, picking up something heavy, putting it up on the shelf, but only using one hand, or carrying a heavy suitcase in one side. Good. So again, you can pick up that tempo. If you have a little bit lighter weight, make it a little bit more cardio. Good. Last 4. Don't have to though. 3, 2, and 1. Great work. All right. Go ahead and put your weights down. Grab a sip of water, and we're going to focus a little bit on outer thigh. So you got that chair there for support. So we're going to do a little bit of outer thigh, side leg lift here. So have that chair there if you need it for balance. Inside leg is the standing leg. Keep the torso up nice and tall. Outside leg, you're going to squeeze right here through the outer thigh. All right, a little Jane Fonda type stuff here. Go ahead and put your hand there if you want to. Sometimes it helps the mind-muscle connection if you actually feel where that muscle should be working. So this is outer glute, glute minimus, glute medius. These are the stabilizer muscles that are going to help you anytime you're standing on one leg, which includes walking, because at some point you are standing on one leg as you bring the other leg through. Good. Really, really focus on that. Nice and slow, controlled movements. Last one. Hold. And release. All right. Go ahead and switch over to the other side. I'm going to change to the other side of the chair. And again, inside leg is the standing leg. Hand here if you want to. Nice and slow and controlled. Lift and lower. Feeling. Really think about the muscle that you're trying to work. It's very important when you're strength training. Don't just go through the motions. Don't just go through it as fast as you can to get it over with. It's just not going to be as effective as if you really concentrate on what muscles you're working and why, and focus on using those muscles. You get so much more bang for your buck that way. Zoning out is fine if you're doing cardio and you don't have to think about it, but for strength training, make sure that you're not just checking the box, as I like to put it. Last one, really squeeze at the top All right, great job. Shake those legs out. All right, just a little bit more core. Take that chair. Now make sure that it is not going to move on you, all right? We don't want it to move on you. I'm going to have you do a plank from this position. So this is an elevated plank. You don't need to come down on the floor. You are going to take a step back. So it's almost similar to doing our downward dog. But instead of doing our downward dog, we're going to lift the toes up. So now you're up on your tiptoes. You want to have your shoulders over your wrists, all right? And then just a tiny little bend of those elbows. And we're just going to hold that position right there. So you can stop this any point if you need to. If it gets too challenging, you can also step out to a wider foot position. I have a narrow foot position, but for a little bit more stability, you can go out to a wider foot position. You can eliminate the elbow bend if that's a little bit too much for you, but do make sure that you keep forward. We don't want to be back. This is what we don't want to do, okay? That's too much or not enough, is what I'm trying to say. Too much rest, not enough work. So up on the toes. Little elbow bend if you can. Engage those abs. Good. Narrow stance for the most challenge. I'm not going to go to one foot. I think that's a little bit too much. All right, go ahead and take a little break there, and we are going to go through some stretches because we're in the position for downward dog. We are going to go ahead and go into some stretches here. So that downward dog, that chair modified downward dog, ears down by the arms, tailbone pressing towards the wall behind you. You did a fantastic job today. Slowly come up. You did a fantastic job. We're going to do just a few stretches to finish off with. You're done with the hard part. All right, so we're going to take one hand in the center of the chair, and that same foot, so that foot on that same side is going to step forward. All right, and then step back with the other foot. So first part of this stretch is rotating and reaching up toward the ceiling. So you're really rotating through that back. Look up towards your hand. I have the front knee bent toward my chair. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Really get that nice stretch there, and then come back to center and lift that back heel up. We're going to start with that quadricep hip flexor stretch. So you're going to lower that back knee and then tuck the tailbone under. So you're getting the stretch on the front of the thigh. And then go ahead and straighten that back leg again and drive that back heel down into the floor. Another really good calf stretch is to do the door frame stretch where you have the sole of your foot going up the door frame, your heel in as close as you possibly can, and then lean in towards the door frame. It's a really good calf stretch. It's best done with shoes on, so you have some leverage though. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides. So we're going to start with the rotation. I don't know why this keeps running out on me. Let's back all the way up. There we go. All right. So the other hand right in the center, same foot forward. Other foot back. We're going to start. I know I always have music issues with my videos. Okay, great big rotation. Look up towards your hand. There always seems to be something that I have to adjust. And come back to center. All right, let's do the quadricep hip flexor stretch. So for this one, we're going to lift the back heel, lower the back knee, tuck the tailbone under, so you're going to feel the stretch on the front of the thigh, hip flexor there. And press that back heel down into the floor, straighten the legs. So again, this is your calf Achilles stretch. And again, if you want to, you can do the door frame stretch, which is a stronger stretch. Heel in as close as you can to the door frame. The bottom of the foot's going up the door frame, and then leaning in, starting with just bending at the ankle, and then also you can do the slight bend at the knee, and you're going to get a really good stretch there. Okay, go ahead and step in, shake out. All right, let's come around. Let's have a seat. I want to do our hamstring stretch because a lot of folks have tight hamstrings. So let's finish with our calf and hamstring stretch. You're going to sit forward in your chair, toes up, and grab those toes no matter how much you have to bend your knees, okay? You get more leverage that way, and once you have that leverage, bring the chest down towards your legs, and then you'll get your hamstring stretch. So I had a person the other day that was complaining of back pain, and it turns out It was just that she has tight hamstrings. So once I had her start stretching the hamstrings, the back pain got better. So remember that these things are all connected. If you have tightness in your calves or your hamstrings, it can pull on your pelvis and not let your pelvis tilt correctly, and then you'll end up with back pain. So just keep that in mind if you're struggling with some unexplained back pain. Just try a little bit more stretching of these surrounding muscle groups. It's not always the back itself that's the problem. Sometimes it's other parts of your body that are tight and contributing to pain in your back. That's not saying that every back pain is caused by tight muscles, but it never hurts to do a little extra stretching and just see if you can resolve it that way. All right, great job. Go ahead and let go. We're just going to do a couple little really loose ones. Nicely side to side. And then coming back to center, we're just going to roll the shoulders front to back. I always like to do front to back so that we help with that posture. And again, please remember, check out some of those other videos. I have so many. We're in the mid-60s now. I have stretching videos, meditation, yoga, strength training, cardio. Check out some of those other videos. And of course, as always, okay, do a little head movement side to side, comfortable range of motion. As always, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you're watching on YouTube, the more people that subscribe, like, and comment, the more people that the algorithms will show the video to. So the more it'll show up in people's news feeds. Same thing if you're on Facebook, please like and follow the Facebook page so you get the new videos every time I upload. Sometimes the uploading takes all day like it did the other day, but it's all good. We get there eventually. It's just sometimes the internet is just not the greatest. All right, we are done except for our final stretch. So sit up super tall, inhale, exhale. Good, one more time, inhale, exhale, and that's it. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you enjoyed the workout. Thanks for staying for the whole thing, and I will have a new video out to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks again. Bye.